Okay, good morning. It's June 13th, Friday the 13th, and it's going to be a bad luck day for some broadleaf weeds down on the clover. We haven't sprayed it. We've had a lot of rain, and it's in a remote area. So we're going to get it sprayed today. The weeds are getting sort of ahead of me right now. The product we're going to use is Slay. It's a herbicide for broadleaf weeds, not particular grasses. You'd use a rest for that. That'll be later on. But we want to get these broadleaf weeds under control. This Slay will do 4 ounces, will do an acre. It's pretty potent stuff. And with that said, when you go to put that stuff on, it comes with instructions. And you want to make sure that you read these instructions real thoroughly. And they're an awful small print. So guys like me, you better be putting on your good glasses because you're going to need to read everything that's on there. Now, some safety precautions. We're going to be using a hand sprayer. So we want to use a respirator. We want to use a set of goggles. Keep it out of your eyes. Rubber gloves. Rubber boots. And to keep it off your clothing, you can go with a rain suit. That way, if it gets on there, it's not going to penetrate, it should shed off. Now, one other special ingredient that you need also with this Slay product is your Surefire crop oil. That also comes from Whitetail Institute. If you just put the Slay on, it's not it would work, but the crop oil is going to make it stick to the foliage that much better and stay and have more staying power. So make sure that you go with crop oil. Matter of fact, if you order that through Whitetail Institute, they're going to, if you order Slay or Rest, something like that, they're automatically going to suggest that you buy this. And you need this. This is what's going to keep it on the foliage instead of it running off. You'll get more bang for your buck. And Spectrum, this is about $69. 60 or 69 right in there. So it's pretty expensive for 4 ounces, but it does do the job. But remember, use it with extreme caution. Don't get willy-nilly. When you spray, you want to spray backwards, so you're spraying away. If you're not walking into the fog, walk backward as you spray with your hand sprayer, and that way you're walking away from the spray. Okay, let's get on down to the field. You haven't seen it since we planted it. So we'll get down there and give it a dose of Slay and see if we can get some of those broadleaf weeds under control. Alright, we'll go on down to the field. Okay, here's the trail. As you can see, that's growed up almost head high in places since turkey season. And that ended back a month ago. And so it's really thick, but you can't mow in here because of the fawn drop and the turkeys. They could be putting egg, so you just got to stay out of your woods. But that's part about being remote. You're back in here and it's really hard to get access with the tractor right now because of the mud. There again, you can see these weeds. That's almost up to my chin right there. So, some really tall stuff. But that's where you want to have these hunting plots located, back in areas like this. Well, here's the plot. You notice the clover is pretty tall. It needs to be mowed. We got this planted sometime back in April. Or I believe it was in April. Maybe not, maybe, I don't know, it was early. I know the frost was just coming out of the ground. Remember, we knocked all the trees down. Now I got a bare spot right here because of the erosion. This is not really hilly, but what happened is it's falling from down here, right where I'm standing, and we've had some hellacious rains, and there's clover still in there, trying to get going, but those rains really washed it off right there. But as you can see, there's a good stand of clover, but there's also a good stand of broadleaf weeds. And so let's see what we can get done. There again, it needs to be mowed, but we've had 3.5 inches of rain down here last week. There was no way you could get in here. And it's just secluded enough. It's almost impossible to get a tractor back across the creek, and it was so muddy you wouldn't want to have been in there anyway. Okay. So we're going to treat it with the sleigh, the herbicide to kill these broadleaf weeds. And then we'll come back in a week or so and get it mowed. But it's doing good. Timing's everything. And I missed the boat because of the rains. We were having good rains. Remember, the first time we planted this, the next day we had like 2 inches of rain. And that was really hard on it. But then again, you know, what can you say? We've had probably 14 inches of rain down here, 14 to 15 inches of rain in 2 months. So it's doing good, but it needs to be sprayed. So let's get that going. Here's what we look like, because you're going to be walking around in this herbicide. Remember, walk backwards when you spray. Got the backpack sprayer on. It's loaded up. We'll start out here, start spraying. So, nice cool morning, virtually no wind at all, so you won't get any drift. You know, you want to make sure you spray this with at least no more than a 10-mile-an-hour wind. Anything above that, it could be spraying in places you don't want it to be spraying. So keep that in mind. Well, let's get her loaded up and get it spraying. Make sure you shake that up so it gets all mixed up in there. Okay, we're good to go. This is a 4-gallon sprayer, so we're ready to get going with it. You want to do a little preemptive care with your sprayer. Fill it up, spray just plain water on it so you can get a feel on how it's going to spray. So that's sort of how it is. So I'm going to get to spraying and shut this camera off. We got it sprayed. A lot of clover here, and it needs to be mowed, but we'll have to mow it. I'll give it a week for the herbicide to work, and then we'll get back to mow. We sprayed it with our sleigh. Now we're going to get down here and mow it. It's got really tall. That sleigh's done some of its work. Some of the broadleaves are, you know, yellowing up and dying. So, but we've got a lot of rain coming in again. I want to get this mowed. It's supposed to cool off next week. So it's really critical to get some of this residue mowed off with some weeds that came in, and even though we put the sleigh on there, they got a little ahead of us. So let's get to mowing. Yeah, that gives you a better idea how tall that is once we mowed it. And it's a good, oh, I don't know. Probably put my boots on there. That's 12 inches high. So we want to get it mowed off. Getting it mowed off will stimulate the growth. That way it'll make it spread more roots, grow in stronger. Mowing's real critical, and Also going to get rid of some of these weeds that got ahead of us, even though we sprayed it. So we'll get her mowed off. Yeah, if you remember, that clover wasn't any taller than a turkey turd. That's how much they had it grazed off. Whitetail Institute clover. It's Advantage and Insight clover, the blend. And Whitetail Institute took several years to come up with that after crossbreeding over 100 brands of clover. Clover is not clover. All clovers aren't equal. As you remember, that clover was cropped clear down to the dirt, and it came back. That's the resilience of it. That's why it costs money. That's why if you're going to put your money up there, don't go with the smiley teeth on the front of the package with a big buck. Go with it. Tried and tested product. You know, research equals results, and that's what you can expect. From no taller than a turkey turd to a foot high on the 18th of June. So let's get her mowed off. We got it mowed off. A little more, not really tight. They recommend 6 inches height. Mine's probably around 4 inches. It's going to grow back pretty fast. But when you're mowing that makes the root system grow that much faster. So that's what it looks like all mowed off. They say it looks like a park. Well, as you know, some of the best deer in Iowa came out of parks. So, a lot of work. Now that we got it mowed, we're going to fertilize it. Whitetail Institute recommends 300 pounds of 0-20-20 per acre. Well, I have a hard time finding 0-20-20. What we're going to go with is this 6-24-24. Now what that 6-24-24 is, it's 6% nitrogen, 20% phosphorus, and 24% potash or potassium. So you got those high. That's what grows the roots. So if you can't find 0-20-20, make sure you get the lowest nitrogen number you can get. And in that case here, it would be 6. That's only 6%. Most co-ops want to sell you a triple 13, 13, 13, 13. If you put the nitrogen on, all you're going to do is make the weeds grow faster. Clover is a legume. It makes its own nitrogen. But it needs the phosphorus and the potash to make its roots, give them a healthier root system. And keep in mind, when you plant this, it's not like an annual. You're not going to have that real flush green real fast because it's going to grow its root system first. And after it gets its root system, then you're going to have a 5-year perennial fruit plot. And if you take care of it, it might last longer than that. Well, let's get cranking this stuff on. So another thing about this 6-24-24, it'll cover between 5,000 to 10,000 square feet, 11,000 square feet in a quarter of an acre. If you're going to put 300 pounds on an acre, you're going to need 6 bags of this. That's about $25 a bag. So you're going to have 6 bags. 2 bags is 50, 4 is 100. You're going to have about 150 bucks in fertilizer, and that's no bull. But 6, 24, 24. Low on the nitrogen. You don't need nitrogen on clover. Yeah, for those of you out there that say food plots are a walk in the park, you better make a lot of work out of it, because there's a lot of work there. These sprayers, hand sprayers, they work really good. You've seen that in use. This little cart spreader works pretty good. Broadcasted out, real uniform, especially when you can't get equipment across the creek right now. I could have brought my big spreader in, but what I'm trying to get at, it takes a lot of work. If you can see this shirt, that's sweat equity. It's about somewhere around 90 right now. Heat index probably 100. Nice thing about there's some wind down here. But you're only going to get out of life what you put into it, and you're only going to get out of a food plot what you put into it. If you do it half-assed, you're going to have a half-assed food plot with miserable results. Nobody said food plots were cheap. If somebody was talking that they went out and willy-nilly threw red clover out and they shot a big buck, well, they were lucky. And that can happen. But if you really want to bring on a professional food plot, you're going to have to use professional products through Whitetail Institute. They're the leader in it. And like I said, why would you want to work all this sweat up for a lesser product with just somebody's willy name face on it? And that's just an endorsement. And if they need an endorsement to sell their seeds, they got problems. But anyhow, that's it. Fertilized, mowed. You've seen it come from nothing to what it is. Kevin Costner had his field of dreams. This is my field of dreams. I'm going to need some of that heat come November that I've generated today, but it won't be around. But the clover will be. So that's it from the non-typical Norwalkian on the clover food plot. It's the 3rd day of July. 2 weeks ago, you seen me mowing this down, and we mowed it and fertilized it, and here it is the day before 4th of July. It went to bloom again. Whitetail Institute clover. You've seen us make this field in early April when we were digging out the frost back over yonder, and now you can see the results of your effort. But as I said, and I'll say over and over again, timing is everything. You cannot procrastinate. You have to put other life chores on hold when you're going to do these food plots. Mother Nature won't wait on you. You have small windows of opportunities to get your crops in, your food plots in. If you, for some reason, space that time slot off, you and your food plot will suffer. You may grow one, but it'll never be what it could be. You've seen us when we've taken this from bare timber and turned it into bare dirt, and then we put our fertilizer, our lime, our soil test, everything, and this is the results of what you can expect. But you have to do that in that sequence. If you skip over certain things, I'm not going to tell you that you can't grow something here in Iowa. You just won't get the full impact of what you're trying to do. But there's your food plot, July 3rd, beautiful clover, and you know what really makes you feel so good about that you did that. You took a over-timbered area and transformed it in to a beautiful situation where you may be able to harvest a deer. But if you don't harvest a deer, as we go throughout this year, you're going to see how much wildlife actually benefits from my labor and my investment. turkeys, rabbits, everything that has to consume food, which is everything in the wild, will benefit from this. So it's a win-win-win for you and for the wildlife. And it has nothing to do about killing. I may be fortunate to shoot an animal off of this food plot, but then again, if I don't, I've already won. I don't need a hero picture. So that's it from the non-typical Norwalkian, come full circle. You've seen us, like I said, you've seen us knocking the timber down. You've seen us applying the lime, the fertilizer, the seed, the mowing, the fertilizing again. And now you can see on the 3rd of July, basically weed-free. That's the mowing, the spraying of the herbicide, and the sleigh, and that all came in to play. So picture worth 1,000 words. That's it from the non-typical Norwalkian. Yeah, transform that into what this was right here to a beautiful stand of Imperial Whitetail Clover. Like I said, tomorrow's July 4th, so that gives you an idea. And that clover is all of 8, maybe 10 inches tall right there in front of you. Yeah, it's like I say, a lot of hard work, but well worth it.